stop to wonder what life would be without freedom? Imagine not being able to speak your mind, practice your religion, or make choices about your own life. The thought is chilling, yet, for many people around the world, this is a harsh reality. Yes, hello dear students, this is teacher Charmy Saldua, and together, we will learn as one. Now, looking back at the previous lessons, we have seen that there is an intimate link between our human intellect and freedom. Our intelligence enables us to distinguish between right and wrong actions or to identify actions that we should or should not do, while our freedom enables us to choose the kind of action that we would like to perform. Well, in this lesson, we'll dive deep into the importance of freedom in decision making and explore the various ways it shapes our lives and society as a whole. Without further ado, let's get started. Now, what exactly is freedom and why is it so important? Accordingly, freedom is one of the most fundamental human rights to which everyone is entitled, regardless of race, religion, gender, or any other identifying factor. It is a right that has been fought for and defended throughout the ages and is essential to the development of a fair, just, and equitable society. Without freedom, our ability to make decisions for ourselves, pursue paths of our choosing, and express ourselves without fear of retribution is severely limited. Those living in a free society are able to enjoy basic rights without fear of retribution and interference, such as they are able to speak and think freely. They can engage in meaningful discourse and debate. They can freely associate with whom they please. They can travel and explore new places without fear of reprisal. And in politics, freedom is necessary to protect citizens' rights and ensure that the government remains accountable to them. Without freedom, citizens would be unable to exercise their rights. Example is the right to vote and the right to protest. And the government would be able to act without fear of repercussions from its citizens. When we have the freedom to think for ourselves, we can question the status quo, challenge conventions, and be creative. We can make our own decisions about how we live our lives and shape our own destinies. As an example, consider a young person who is passionate about music, but whose family wants them to pursue a different course of study at university. Without freedom, they would have no way of pursuing their passion. They would feel trapped by their family's expectations and unable to be themselves. However, the freedom comes choice. The choice to break from convention and explore their interests and talents. The young person may opt for a vocational music course or use their spare time to practice musical instruments so they can carve out a career as a musician later on. By that, the young person is still able to pursue his passion. Hence, freedom allows us to make decisions that make us happy. It also gives us the opportunity to build fulfilling lives for ourselves. Do you agree that freedom gives us power? You know, the power of freedom is often underestimated and misunderstood. As humans, we have an innate desire for freedom. Yet, many of us don't truly understand the power that it holds. Freedom gives us the power to shape our lives and be the creators of our destinies. On an individual level, freedom gives us the power to choose our lifestyle and make decisions about our lives. For instance, we are free to pursue our dreams, explore our interests, and make the most of our potential. We are free to form meaningful relationships with the people we care about and develop new skills and talents. We are free to take risks and make mistakes, which can ultimately lead to greater success and fulfillment. Now, on a large scale, freedom gives us the power to shape our society in numerous ways. One practical example of how freedom gives us power is the story of Malala Yousafzai. You know who is Malala Yousafzai? Well, Malala is a Pakistani activist and Nobel Prize laureate who has dedicated her life to fighting for freedom and education for girls. As a young girl growing up in Pakistan, Malala faced immense restrictions on her freedom due to her gender. She was not free to choose her own destiny, voice her opinions, or even leave her house without a male guardian. However, Malala refused to accept the status quo and use her freedom to fight for girls' rights. She was fearless in the face of danger and refused to back down the face of adversity. Through her courageous actions, Malala was able to make an incredible impact in her community and beyond. Malala's story serves us as an inspiring example of how freedom gives us the power to make positive changes in the world. Malala's story shows us that we can truly make a difference when we are free to make our own choices. Now, Viktor Frankl said that between stimulus and response, there is a space. What do you mean, ma'am? In that space lies our freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. This means that whatever situation we are in, we have that opportunity to think and consider our response. This is what I am telling you, class, that freedom is the cornerstone of self-determination and self-governance, allowing people to make their own choices and decisions. It enables a person to live a life of their own choosing, with the ability to make decisions that reflect their values, preferences, and beliefs. Now, in the academe, freedom allows individuals to pursue the educational path of their own choosing. They can choose to attend a traditional college or university, take online classes, learn through self-directed study, or even take a break from formal education. In the workplace, freedom also allows individuals to make choices about their employment and career paths. People can choose to pursue a career in their chosen field or even explore different areas of work. In fact, it is also possible for a person to have different responses to the same problems or situations. Now, how can we ensure that we are using our freedom properly in our decision making? Let us look at the following suggestions. The first one is understand that life does not just happen. Whether we like it or not, our lives are actually designed by us through the choices that we make. We can actually choose our response to any situation, and our responses will determine the quality of our life. For example, you find a certain subject difficult and very challenging. Now, what will be your response? For some people, they will be discouraged and give up and just say, I have accepted the fact that I cannot understand the subject and I will just fail. However, some people will say, this subject is difficult, but I will not let that get in the way of my success. Perhaps, I should ask for help from my classmates and teacher and answer more exercises than what were required so that I can pass. Now, the second one is, decide to be proactive. What does it mean? This means that instead of just reacting to situations, you begin to pursue actively those things that will help you succeed. For example, instead of just waiting for a week to review before the quarterly exams, you can choose to proactively review your lessons every day so that when exam week comes, you can avoid cramming and you need not to stay up late preparing for the test. The third one is be responsible. Believe that you have the intellect and freedom to give the appropriate response to the challenges that life throws at you. A responsible person never blames anyone, the weather circumstances and other factors for their behavior. They believe that they have the power to choose and put into action their decisions which benefit them and other people. And lastly, focus on your circle of influence. This means that you address those problems that you have direct control of. This can be your schoolwork, friends, family, and others. A person who truly uses his or her freedom performs deliberate acts which he or she believes can immediately benefit those who are in his or her circle of influence. Okay, oo nga at kinilala bilang isang karapatang pantao ang pagkakaroon natin ng kalayaan, lalo na ang kalayaan sa pagpapahayag ng opinyon at mga ideya. Ngunit, ito po ay hindi lubos. Pakatandaan sana natin na meron pong limitasyon ang ating kalayaan, lalong-lalo na sa pananalita. Responsibilidad natin na alamin muna ang katotohanan bago tayo maglahad ng ating opinyon. At hanggang dito na lamang po, ito pong muli si Binibining Cherry May Shorte Saldua. Magandang araw at maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay.